Welcome to Nintendo Ninja News. I'm your host Chris Tysus, and we are here with my fave 5 Super Nintendo Entertainment System games. We're going to just get right into it. So at number 5 is the classic game Donkey Kong Country. It's one of the first games that I ever played, and I absolutely adored it. With Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong going through their adventures against the Kremlin crocodiles as their form was King Rook, which was a fantastic game. The graphics really blew me away, and I was super excited about how it really sort of took the Super Nintendo's graphics to the next level, and the beautiful music that I believe that David Wise and the other musicians in that created, which was absolutely amazing too. I was very stoked about playing that type of game, and I thought it was just fantastic. I loved the barrels, the levels, everything else was so cool about it, and that was something that I was very impressed by that game, and I think it still is one of the top selling Super Nintendo games of all time, and a time where Rare gave Nintendo a run for its money in terms of the quality of games on that console. So what's number 4 on my list? And that would be Super Mario Kart. Now, oddly enough, Super Mario Kart was not one of my favorite Mario Kart games, but it did get me into my favorite series of all time, I meant. And because I didn't get to play that many Super Nintendo games when I was young, means that it was a little harder to pick out my top 5. So I'm slotting in Super Mario Kart for the sake of things. But it really got me into the idea of doing racing games and things like that, and it was a lot of fun playing Super Mario Kart. I played a little bit of two-player when I could, but mostly it was just single-player. It has aged quite a lot over the years, and so it should. It's 25 years old plus. But it is still seen as a classic, and the start of probably Mario's most successful spin-off series, which is absolutely fantastic. So, what is number 3? Number 3 is Super Mario World. Super Mario World is the evolution of the Super Mario Brothers series on the NES consoles, the Nintendo Entertainment System, and it really took things to the next level in terms of power-ups, abilities, secret worlds, little exits and entrances in the game, and it was a fantastic game to muck around and play with, and I was super happy about it. And I loved Super Mario World and all the things that it was, and it was difficult. You didn't have as many save spots and things like that, and it was probably the game that really got me into the Mario series, the 2D platformers and things like that. And one of the things that I really enjoyed was trying to speed through the levels and things like that. And it was always a bit nervous using Yoshi. And I guess that's where I used Yoshi, was from Super Mario World. So that's why I always use Yoshi for Mario Kart and Mario Tennis and all that. So just my love of him was there. And of course, Yoshi's Island, Super Mario World 2, was also a classic game as well. So that was one of the things to look at too. Now, number 2. What is number 2? And that would be Harvest Moon. Harvest Moon was probably the first simulation game that I played. And that was something that I really enjoyed and had a lot of fun with. And it got me into the world of sort of farming and looking after the cows and the chickens and things like that. And we do have the Harvest Moon up there, right up there, up on the top of the bookcase shelf. So I've always loved the series, and sadly, none of the sequels have really come up close to it, apart from one spiritual successor called Stardew Valley. And I loved the whole idea of the cutting up wood and looking after the cows and chickens and finding little secrets, and the town itself and the music. And sure, the music might have been seen as a bit repetitive, but I enjoyed it a lot. It was just something that I played a stack of, and I really enjoyed and loved it. Just So much to love about that farming simulation game, which was funny because I was in foster care during the time, and I kind of lived out on a farm property, and I absolutely hated it at times. And I was playing a farming simulation game, so it was a little bit strange for me. And number one, what is the number one? And this is probably my favorite game of all time, and that would be Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy Kong's Crest. It's just the perfect game for me. The music, the graphics, the gameplay of Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong, where Dixie Kong can rip to shreds a level with a little bit of ease. And I would say that maybe some people say that Dixie Kong was a bit overpowered in this game. But I don't care because I had so much fun with it. The levels, the zingers going around the screen, the whole idea of the crocodiles in pirate form, which was fantastic. And Arug with a cannonball gun, which was fantastic. I just couldn't believe it, hey. And I was very, very, very happy about that sort of thing. I just was very impressed by it all. And I've played it over and over. It's probably the game that I've replayed to the end the most out of any video game that I can think of. On the Super Nintendo, on the new 3DS, the Wii U, if it comes out on the Switch, I'll probably buy it again and play it through it once more. I think that's the testament of a great game, is that you keep playing through it every time. And I normally do it once a year, going through Donkey Kong Country 2 and playing through it all over again. But it's just such a great game, and how everything's structured amazingly. So that is my fave 5 for Super Nintendo games, and I hope you enjoyed it. And do type in what are your top 5 games, your favorite 5. Don't worry about if it's rated good or rated badly. This is your own personal top 5 games that you like. And like a game like Harvest Moon might not be a top 5 game in terms of critics, but it was for me. So that is it for me, and I shall see you later on.